All right, it looks like we are live. Welcome to the Japan live stream show where we talk about less talked about aspects of Japan and answer questions that you didn't even know you had. I am your host, one more Guyjin, sharing and simplifying Japan for you, showcasing Okayama Prefecture, the beautiful place that I live, but just call me Daniel. I'm pretty excited for this one. I asked you guys on Twitter and Facebook. Got a decent response from you guys on Twitter. Which topic you wanted me to cover this Sunday, and the choices were teaching English in Japan. What other choices do we have? Teaching English in Japan, food culture, and the privacy culture. And you chose privacy culture. Yay! I guess you guys probably already knew that because it's written on the title. Anyways, so that is episode 3. We've done this for 3 weeks. I'm surprised at myself, honestly. But if you want to follow me on Twitter and let your opinion known in the next polls that we have, please do. Hi from Spain, Juanca. Hello. Sorry, I don't. Is that what fish is that in front of your name? Is that my fish kanji are horrible. What kanji is that? I don't know. Oh, countryside limbo. Wow. Finally cooled down, Georgia. Good to hear. Yeah. So actually, right now, what we're gonna be doing is just chewing the mochi, is what we are gonna call it, which means to chew the fat. We're gonna be talking a little bit before we get started. Let people get in here. If you're watching on the replay, you can just skip a little bit ahead. This is Maguro. Thank you. I'm guessing your name is Juanca. Thank you so much for joining. I haven't seen you before. We're going to be starting in just a couple of minutes. But yeah, so we got a great show coming up. If there are any lurkers in the background, if you guys are in there, let me know, so I can call you out. Andrew Gibler, hey man, what's up from Hiroshima Live, right? So your golf swing over there. Thank you so much for joining us. We're having a good show. There's my moderator, Arisa. She's pretty strict, guys. You got to watch out for her. She'll ban you like that, maybe. But yeah, just what you guys have been up to. Countryside Limbo, Maria DK, hello, welcome to the live show. We're just kind of chewing the mochi, chewing the fat right now. My Hiroshima Live, that is right. Yeah, go ahead and check them out, guys. They're doing some pretty cool stuff. They're like a real estate company, kind of focused towards foreigners living in Hiroshima, maybe the Chugoku area. I'm not super sure, but check them out at that handle. Yeah, but we're just chewing the mochi for here a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna get right into this amazing show that I am so excited for. Yeah, so what have you guys been up to? Countryside Limbo, you said that it's cooling down in Georgia. It was actually pretty cool here in Okayama as well. Arisa and I went on a little bit of a date to a cafe. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, you can see some of that stuff. And yesterday it was a little bit rainy, but we got out to Korakuen, which is one of the top 3 imperial gardens in Japan, right in Okayama, and just behind it looms the kind of black Okayama Castle. It's a really cool place. But they had the whole place lit up. It was really nice. Pictures on Instagram if you want to check me out there at one more Guyjin. Yeah, Hiroshima and Okayama currently. I didn't know you guys were in Okayama. That's pretty cool. Might have to talk to you guys next time I move. If I move, I don't know. Countryside Limbo says it's raining. Got a tropical storm brewing in the Gulf. We just 2 weeks ago we just had a typhoon. Stay safe. Don't do anything crazy. Okay. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and get started, guys. So first, we're gonna be talking about, like I said, the privacy culture in Japan. We're gonna be talking about a couple of things. So we're gonna be talking about the social networks in Japan and how they're used, because they're used not used differently, but what is used is a bit different than other countries, other Western countries. And then we're going to be talking about the privacy culture in real life. And then we're going to talk about how do we use this information to better ourselves, not better ourselves, but yeah, better ourselves, I guess, but better our trip if we go to Japan, or if we're living in Japan and we're not quite sure how to deal with things. If you guys have any other stuff to interject, please do. I'll be looking forward to your guys' comments and questions. And we do have a little bit of a quiz. Let's get right started. If you are watching on the replay, thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to get started. So, social networks. You got the big ones like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Those are kind of the top three. I don't think I'm missing anything, at least globally. But Twitter is actually the second most popular SNS social network site. I think that's it's in Japan. It's got 45 million users, which it means it's far more popular than Facebook, which is at 28 million, kind of. They didn't really release their numbers, so we don't know in 2018, 2019, but around there. And then Instagram has been shooting up, just becoming insanely popular. They surpassed Facebook, which is at 29 million. So what's the most popular SNS? Does anyone know? Do you guys know? Anyone? Anyone? Anyone know? Any guesses or anything? Starts with L. There we go. She has a story. Thank you so much for coming by. And Countryside, yeah, wow, everyone, you guys are great. You guys are awesome. Just by the way, I'm gonna stop the stream right here. Stopping the stream. She has a story. Just moved to Okayama with her, I'm gonna say husband. If he's not your husband, I mean, I'm guessing he's your husband. He's your husband. Yes, I'm stupid. Just moved to Okayama, so I'm super excited for her. Give her some love. She's on Twitter and Instagram. Posts some really good stuff. Check her out, please. And her husband, he's playing semi-professional basketball, I think. Amazing stuff. But yes, you guys are right. Line. Line is the most popular. I mean, it is destroying its competitors, destroying them. At 76 million users, 60% of the population uses Line in Japan. Arisa's grandma uses Line. It's amazing. Okay. Okay, I'm serious. It's crazy. 60%. So why? I'm guessing you guys probably know. It's all to do with the privacy problems. Okay, so you guys know. I'm guessing most of you guys already have a Facebook. Most people do, that aren't in Japanese. And I'm not super sure, but I'm just kind of throwing that stuff out there. But yeah, so Facebook, you have to have your real name. Some people don't, but usually Facebook catches on pretty quickly. You have to use your real name, and people share everything on Facebook. They got where they live, they got pictures of their house and stuff like that. There's a lot of sharing that can be pretty dangerous, actually. Now everyone's kind of used to social networks, so we're a little bit more cautious. But Facebook is still, I mean, if you want to know where someone is, you type in their name and maybe the state, and you can kind of scroll down and you can usually find people. It's pretty scary. So Japan does not like that. Japanese people do not like that. Facebook is a really personal platform, while Twitter and Line and even Instagram aren't. Twitter, you don't, you can just make up a crazy handle. Line, you don't have to use your real name. You can just use a crazy name or anything. Okay, sorry. So yeah, my Hiroshima Live, real house, real estate. You got me paranoid, so I switched to our company's account. Good idea. Not that I don't think any of my followers are gonna be stalking anyone, but Countryside Limbo says there are a lot of horror stories on Facebook. Yes, there are. So Twitter, Line, Instagram really don't need these all your personal information basically. And also, on Facebook and even Instagram, checking in is really popular. At least in Western countries. I know in America, checking in places, letting people know, hey, I'm at this cafe or at this place, doesn't it doesn't really, not many people get on into that on in Japan. Like you see some cafes and they have to run like promotional stuff. Like they're like, hey, if you check into our Instagram account, or tag us, you'll get a free cup of coffee or something. You don't really have to do that in America. But anyways, even people, even Japanese people with Facebook, usually, I shouldn't say usually, but a lot of them don't put their face on their profile picture. They'll put like a dog, or some kind of animal, or a flower, or stuff like that. Sorry, throat's getting dry. I needed to warm up. So Instagram is kind of the same way. A lot of people don't put their profile picture as their face. I'm coughing here. So, but people do like sharing their pictures. Their all of their photos on Instagram. They do like sharing them, but the profile picture is usually not their face. And when they do share something, personal info is hardly ever uploaded. I think I'm about to die. No, I'm not gonna die, but I'm getting pretty dry. Sorry. Coughing into the mic. Sorry, guys. So, this kind of relates to my last episode where I talked about how Japan is a very group-oriented culture. And that's kind of, really common knowledge. But it's not common how much it kind of puts its hands onto every aspect of Japanese culture. Because Japan is such a group-oriented culture, people put the group ahead of themselves. So, for example, Ken says, "Good job on that presentation." I'm like, no, it wasn't me. It was my team. I just got up and talked. So this kind of group-oriented people or culture, putting the group ahead of themselves, it kind of pulls them back, I guess. And they want to be more private, I guess. So this can be kind of lead to being this kind of more private culture and less forthcoming with personal details. I'm still a little bit dry. Let's check the comments. Let me give my voice a little bit of a break here. I don't know what's going on. Country Limo side, that's mostly what I do, so I can empathize with that. Yeah. It's yeah, I mean, some people obviously there are going to be more people that don't like, are kind of lean more towards the Japanese kind of way in every culture, in every country. I'm kind of in the middle, I guess. But yeah, so how are you guys doing? You guys following along? Any questions? Sorry, I was coughing into the mic so much. Whew. Stream health is looking good. We got 5 people watching. So great to have everyone. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about with the social networks. So great to have everyone. Let me take a bit of a break. It's gonna be time for our quiz. We do have a quiz coming up, and it has to do with Instagram. So I want to know. This is you got to know a little bit of Japanese to get this one. So, but you might have heard it. It is, what do Japanese people say when something is good to share on Instagram, or something is worthy of sharing on Instagram? I'll say it one more time. What do people say when something is good to share on Instagram, or is kind of worthy to share on Instagram? For example, they see this amazing kind of parfait or something. When people want to take a picture of that, what do they say? And we will be back in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. parfait or something.
I'll
You
give
know,
you
where
this
people want to take a
amazing
picture.
transition.
What do they say? And we will be back in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
And we are back. So I was in the comments talking to you guys. Yeah. So my Hiroshima live talking about how you need to kind of
I was in the
use
comments talking to you
Twitter.
guys.
It's a tough beast. It
So
is.
my Hiroshima
It's you
live
do
talking
got to
about
be
how you need to kind of
constantly kind of liking and retweeting and but always adding more to the conversation. I guess that's what I try to do on my stuff. Like I'm promoting my things, but you don't want to be obviously always constantly promoting your stuff. You got to be making connections with people and kind of just getting your piece of the pie, I guess. Like for me, I'm kind of trying to be known. This is a secret. No, it's not. But I'm trying to be known as the Okayama guy. Like if you want to know something about Okayama, you come to me, and that is what I'm trying to do: making connections with people, doing that kind of stuff. But it is hard. I mean, Facebook to me is way harder because anything you post on Facebook, if you link a YouTube video on Facebook, Facebook's algorithm just kills it. But anyways, we're gonna be talking about So with the answer to the quiz, it's called Instabae. Maybe you guys have heard it if you watch Japanese TV. I will type it in there. So insuta and then buy. Yeah, and you can just say buy it. Now they've just even Insta is Instagram shortened. Japan loves to shorten a lot of the those words. And buy or haeru is to kind of glow or to stand out or to be like against a picture or something. Something stands out. Like my hand right now is glowing. It's standing out, I guess. So you put those two together, and it's something that's gonna be noteworthy on Instagram. Like, oh, like we got to take a picture of this beach. It's Insta by it. And there's a second one. I don't know if my wife knows this, Adi-san, but this is pronounced the same way, Insta bae, but this time bae means fly. Hi, like a fly. So people are saying that people are always taking pictures of things on Instagram and things are like flies. They're just kind of circling some place, this famous place. So you can say like, oh, people are gonna be like Insta buy, and then like people in the back are like Insta buy, kind of saying it's a fly. A little bit difficult wordplay, but that is what they say a lot of times on TV and things. The Gainojin, the really famous people, they say Instabuy, and they even have like little TV shows on places to go for Instabuy. Yeah, so now you know. I just been sneezing. So if you guys, hopefully you learned a little bit of that in Japanese. So now we're gonna be talking about the real life privacy culture in Japan. So we're talking about the SNS stuff. Um, Maybe you guys, if you're living in Japan or you have Japanese friends, you probably know this, but Japanese people tend to be very. Now this is painting with very broad strokes, okay? Not everyone. I always have to add this because there are some people, no, not none of you guys, but some people that can take stuff way out of context. But painting with broad strokes, Wow, Japanese people tend to be a little bit more reserved when they are first meeting people, new people. So when you're meeting maybe some new friends or some of your friends introduce you to some Japanese friends, Japanese people tend to be a little bit more reserved, and maybe even you could kind of see like maybe a little bit pulled back. So they kind of politely keep you out. In America, this is kind of you know contrasting, at least what I know in America. A lot of people they can be cautious, not like because they're scared, just kind of just being polite, kind of not polite, but just they don't like to talk about themselves
usually. In America, we like to talk about ourselves a lot, and that's not a bad thing. A lot of people like to boast and say things that they can do or things that they have done. To me, even I living in Japan, I kind of tend to do this as well. Like if I can do something, I'll say that. And to me, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, we're trying to make connections with those new people. Like, hey, I can do this. Can you do it? Trying to, find common ground. Like, oh, I like this. Do you like it? So I like this, I like these TV shows. I like these, these books. I like this kind of music. While Japanese people tend not to do that in the first couple of times that they meet you. So we try to find something in common very quickly, while Japanese people tend to take a longer time. Like for example, when I studied abroad, my second year of university, I was in the Kendo club. I did Kendo in Ohio University for 1 year, and then I joined the Kendo club my second year in Nagoya, in a Japanese university. Kendo is kind of a martial art. But you're using a sword, so it's Japanese fencing, and a lot of times is what it's translated to, but it doesn't really match that well. But it took me. I was there for 6 months. It took me about 3 months to really get in close with the members. When I first came, they didn't really talk to me much. They didn't. Really, I mean, they asked a few polite questions, like all the members. But it wasn't until they really realized, like, hey, I'm around here. I'm sticking here. Like, I'm gonna continue doing Kendo. That they kind of started opening up. And they kind of started and talking about themselves, and they kind of started just inviting me to places and things. But it took like 3 months. So when you're joining a new circle in Japan, it can take a long time, and that kind of throws off a lot of people who come here. There's some people can be very like the Japanese people can be very polite in the beginning, but then when they're like, hey, can I come over, or why don't you come over? You'll hear people say, no, like, maybe next time. They kind of brush it off. You have to. It takes a long time to get in good with some people, I guess. So, and talking more about those clubs and circles, nicknames tend to be used a lot. A lot of the times, like I used to do bouldering here, and I didn't know. I probably didn't know 90% of the people's real names. Like we all kind of went by nicknames, and it was usually like a short version of their first name or something, or even their last name. But I never got to hear their full name, which is just kind of weird to me. Because usually you usually I don't know, you just kind of know your friends' names, but it doesn't work that way a lot of the times in some of the circles. Now, once you take a long time, take those 3 months or however long, you start to pick up their name, or they'll tell you or something. But it's not something like they just keep secret. Like, no, you can't know my name. If you ask, like, hey, what's your actual first name? They'll tell you, but they don't like that's not information they give. When they first meet you, they can just say, oh, you can call me this. Is usually okay. Is everyone following? I feel like I maybe might be getting into some confusing things, or I might not be um, explaining everything as well as I could. Sorry, my voice was kind of giving me some problems, getting me distracted. But yeah, so that's kind of the real life. And then masks. You may have seen this. Japanese people tend to wear those white surgical masks a lot, especially during the winter. There are multiple reasons for that. One reason is they believe that it stops contagions. It stops the flu. I don't believe that, but not the mask with Jim Carrey. That's a sweet movie. I really need to watch that one again. But they wear those surgical masks, and they believe it keeps pathogens out, or if they are sick,
they will wear a mask so they're not coughing on other people, which is kind of nice. I can see that one. And some people will wear it to keep the moisture, and in the winter it's very dry, so they'll keep the moisture in their mouth or in their throat, which is what I need right now. And there's another reason. A lot of the times, if you see some younger women, or even men, I just thinking about my example that I have. Yes, Patricia Scully, there she is. Thank you so much for coming by. Hope you're doing well in Japan. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Um, yeah, so yeah, everyone's talking about following. I never knew the background of this, so this is good. All right, thank you. Yeah. So the reason that a lot of people don't wear it is because they don't want to wear makeup, yes, and they don't really want people to know who they are. So people that a lot of the times who are working at the convenience stores, younger people usually tend to wear the masks because maybe they don't want to they don't want to wear they don't want to wear makeup, or they don't want people to know who they are really. Like they're working at a convenience store, they're younger, they don't want someone, maybe their classmates or someone coming in and kind of recognize them right on the spot. So they wear a mask. They don't want their face named. No, pretty much is a lot of the times what people do. And people do that in public too. If they don't want people looking at them, if they don't want people to really know who they are, they're just on the train, just minding their own business. So they'll just put a mask on, which is it's kind of cool, I guess. I think a lot of people would like to do that in America, but you would probably see you would be looked at like people might call the cops on you. Like this person might start doing something bad. I'm not gonna say anything on the stream because it might be taken down my YouTube. So I'm gonna but yeah. So that yeah. You use the mask to keep you from cat hair. Yeah. So they work. They do. There's a privacy issue to it as well. Also, I'm kind of moving on to other things. Asking for permission. So this when taking photos or videos and stuff, this impacts me a lot when I am vlogging or also when I'm taking pictures. A lot of people will ask if it's okay to take pictures, or they will ask if it's okay to take a video in like public places. And technically, you're allowed to take videos and photographs in public as long as you're not singling out a person. But a lot of people will tend to ask, and a lot of the times even in public places, or not public places, but like shrines. I guess those are private shrines and temples and things. A lot of the times they will say you're not allowed to take photos or you're not allowed to take videos in certain areas. And it just seen those they have like the signs and things. You just see them a lot more than I'm used to seeing them in America, and a lot of the times it's just due to privacy. They don't want people people that are praying or doing things like that. They don't want people taking pictures of that. So if you do visit, just be careful. Just use your common sense. If you wouldn't want to be in a picture that you're taking, don't take the picture. Like if you're taking a picture of a shrine of someone, like an old lady kind of bowing or something, you can definitely ask her if you want, but maybe you just not take the picture. Wait for the people to get out. Or if there's just a bunch of people, then that's fine. You don't have to ask everyone, obviously, because as long as there's no one person's face right in the middle, you're usually okay. And you'll also see on TV shows and the news, a lot of faces get blurred out. They'll just blur them out. And a lot of the times, if they're going to a location, they'll blur out the whole like video except for like the news reporter who's working there. Like maybe they're looking at a crime scene or something or something like that. They'll just blur out the whole place, and they'll blur out people's faces and the backgrounds. It happens a lot. So we talked about a lot of differences. Yeah. Just going back to the masks, she has a story. Wish she could do it in America. I think. Yeah, Patricia, you're saying you like to do wear a mask in America, countryside. No, you're saying you can't do it in America. Some people do want to. It would be nice. You don't feel like people looking at you. You don't want to do your makeup this one. You just throw on a mask, put on a hat. and you're out the door. But yeah, so talking about that kind of stuff. Sunglasses. So we're talking about now kind of differences. So a lot of the times, sunglasses are rarely used in Japan. A lot of younger guys, not a lot, some younger guys will wear sunglasses, and some of them will put them in the back of their head. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's just such a bad look to me. But hey, I mean, I don't know anything about fashion, but sunglasses are rarely used by a lot of people because hiding your identity is seen as suspicious. It's very ironic, I think. But you think back, you guys probably have seen some anime and stuff where you got the samurai, and he's got that pointed hat and dipped just below his eyes, so you can't see his face. It's just seen as suspicious. If you're hiding your eyes in Japanese culture, it's seen as very suspicious. Ninja, they have the masks and everything, so it's just like that, they have little slits. It's People don't like it. If you are foreign, a lot of the times people will just give you slack. Like no one cares that much. Like, oh, they're foreign, they're wearing sunglasses, it's cool. But if Japanese people are doing it, it's seen as a little bit weird. And then of course you have the baths, the public baths. So, everyone's worried about so much privacy and everything, but then there's kind of this weird thing where everyone takes off their clothes in front of each other and bathes. So, there's a weird kind of balance, I guess. Some things are seen as very strange, and then some things are very normal. Yeah. So, and also like the My Number card. You guys, if you live in Japan, it's very similar to. Oh, Patricia Scully, you're my first subscriber to the stream that doesn't alert. Mario welcomed you. That's so awesome. You're like the first one. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Did you hear it? Did you guys hear it? He's like, welcome, right? Awesome. So talking about My Number card. Sorry, just clap. My Number card is like the Social Security card in Japan, except it was only instated like a couple of years ago. And when that system came out, there were a lot of people worried about personal privacy breaches. Yeah, it's Patricia, saying I'm the first at something. Yeah, thank you, fellow Guyjins and girl teams is what I call you guys. I don't if you don't want me to call you that, then just tell me. But yeah, so the My Number card, a lot of people were worried about the personal privacy breaches. They were worried about where that information is going, and they made a whole like website and had like servers like dedicated to it, and no one uses it now. But they were really worried about a lot of privacy breaches for the My Number card, and nothing ever really came to it. The My Number card system is just a horrible system, anyways. It doesn't work very well. Mario DK, you can't wear a mask in Denmark either. It's prohibited by law unless you can prove it has a legal purpose. I did not know that. And I don't think it is illegal in America. Don't quote me on that. But just people would see it to be very, very weird. And you might get the cops called on you. But that's interesting to know that, it's actually illegal in Denmark. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm sure, people from Denmark coming to Japan, seeing people wearing masks all the time would be kind of terrifying. Yeah, and then America has privacy breaches of almost every month. It's kind of sad. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of getting to the world that we are in now. But now let's go to, so how can we use this information that we just learned? Hopefully you guys learned a little bit. So how can we use that information if we are living in Japan or if we are visiting in Japan? So just kind of some tips on things. I think the biggest one for me was learning that sometimes Japanese people can be a bit reserved in the beginning. It takes a while to get to know them. And just give things time. A lot of the times, like I said before, they'll be very polite to you. But then when kind of push comes to shove, like, hey, like, can I visit your house, or like, you want to hang out sometime, they kind of start pulling away.
you have to give that time. You have to give that relation time. And if you do, and they don't want to, make it into, a close friend kind of relationship, then that's what's going to happen. Like maybe you'll invite them to do something, a couple months later, and they still don't want to do it. Maybe it's time to just like, hey, this person just wants to be an acquaintance and respect the privacy. Or, you can kind of see how the situation is going. Maybe they kind of start warming up to you, or maybe they, start inviting you to things or something. Then you can kind of take that relationship further. But yeah, so just give things time when you're making friends in Japan, Japanese friends. And let's say you do make some friends in Japan. A lot of people don't have Facebook. I would suggest if you come to Japan, get Line. Line, it's a messaging app. It has kind of like your own profile. I don't use that, but I use the messaging app a lot. And it has a bunch of stickers, and it's free to use, which is really great. You're not using any well, I don't know. Before it was really good, but now I guess most places have like free messaging now. But that's kind of what I use now. Or Twitter or Instagram. If you want to connect with people on social network sites, Line, Twitter, or Instagram would be the better bet. So if you ask if they have a Facebook, they're probably not going to, or they'll say, "Yeah, I do, but I never use it." Yeah. And just be careful when taking pictures. Just make sure you watch out for any of the signs that they'll say in Japanese, and they might even say it in English, but they'll usually just have a picture of a camera and have like an X to it. It's pretty easy to understand, I think. And like I said, if you're taking a picture that you wouldn't want to be in, don't take that picture. So people might say stuff to you like, "Hey, I don't want my picture. I don't want my face in your pictures." And some people even tell you like, "Hey, don't post me on Instagram or don't post me on Facebook or things." Like some people will tell you outright that, "Hey, I don't want to be on SNS," and respect their privacy. Or you can even go the step further and ask them, "Hey, can I post this on Instagram? Can I post this on Twitter or Facebook or things?" And a lot of people will ask you the same. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and shoot them right now. I'll stay around for a couple of minutes. We have about a 40-minute stream, a 40-minute show. Sorry about my throat. That was really weird. I thought I was getting like super red, and I didn't want to be like, "Oh, I can't talk anymore." But I'm gonna like I was freaking out. I was freaking out. I'm gonna have to turn the Stream Elements bot down a little bit. He posts a little bit too much for my liking. Kind of spam in there. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or you guys have any experiences of your own, yeah, okay. Arisa has something. Arisa's not gonna be on the stream, but she's gonna talk. So Arisa, please. Uh, uh, mm, yeah. So what she was saying is like if you do come to Japan and you don't want to wear a mask, you don't feel comfortable wearing a mask if you get sick. Hopefully you don't get sick if you're visiting Japan because that would suck. But if you're living here, you're gonna get sick, obviously. And you don't want to wear a mask, which is fine. But just make sure. I mean, this is kind of any country, I think. Don't just go coughing all over the place. I'm gonna spread this. This is my. If you learn anything from this stream, don't cough in your hands. Cough in the elbow, okay? Cough right here, because you use your hands. I'm sure you guys probably know this, but it's one of my pet peeves. I hate when people cough in their hands. I hate it. I hate it because they're just touching everything, and it doesn't do anything. So cough into the elbow. But yeah, so if you don't want to wear a mask, do that. She has a story. Said, "I appreciate that Japanese people ask me for permission to post my photos." Yeah, it's pretty good with that. They're pretty good with that, I think. So not everyone's gonna ask you, but yeah. Yeah, so that was from Arisai. She was saying that if you're sick here and you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to, but just make sure where you're coughing, especially in the trains and things.
That was from Arisai. She was saying that if you're
And
sick here
people
and you
will
don't want to wear a
definitely
mask,
look at
you
you.
don't have to, but
Yeah,
just make sure
if you
where
do
you're
that, they're
coughing,
like,
especially
"What are
in the
you
trains and
doing?"
things.
Yeah, I actually can't really wear a mask, right, because of my ear, and like it's I have I have a normal size ear here, and then this one
Yeah, I
is
actually
small, so I
can't
can't really
really
hook it.
wear a mask, right? Because of
Um,
my ear,
yeah,
and
there's a
like
little
it's
bit of
I have a
I can't
bigger,
hook
I
it,
have a normal size ear
so
here, and then this one
I can't. I
is
usually don't
small,
wear a
so I
mask.
can't really hook it.
Patricia says, I know it's expected to
Yeah,
wear a mask when you're sick, but as a conversation, teachers, students are looking at your mouth for pronunciation. What's your happy medium?
Patricia says, I
Yes,
know it's expected
Robert
to wear a mask when you're sick,
Konsinski.
but
Good
as a
morning from
conversation,
Pennsylvania.
teachers,
Good
students are
evening
looking at
from
your mouth
Okayama,
for
Japan.
pronunciation.
Patricia,
What's
yeah.
your
I mean,
happy
as
medium?
teachers,
Yes, Robert Konsinski. Good morning from Pennsylvania.
I can't. I don't like my students to wear
Patricia,
masks.
yeah. I mean, as
Um,
teachers,
and I don't wear a mask when I am sick. If I'm sick enough,
I
I
can't.
will be
I
gone.
don't
Like
like my
I'll
students
take
to
the
wear
day off.
masks,
My students come in. I hate when they come in when they're
and I
sick,
don't wear
but I
masks.
usually tell them, hey, just take off your mask. I can't understand what you're saying. I'm not worried about the germs because the
My
masks
students come in. I
are
hate when they come in
proven
when they're
not
sick, but
to
I usually tell them,
protect
hey,
against
just take off your
germs.
mask. I can't
It's
understand what
proven,
you're
but
saying. I'm not
people
worried
just
about
wear
the
it as
germs.
it's
The
kind of
masks
a
are proven
social
not to
thing.
protect against
So
germs.
I have my
It's
students take it
proven,
off.
but
But for
people
me,
just wear it
yeah,
as
I
it's kind of a
wearing if
social.
you're coughing that much, I usually take
So
the day off,
have
and I
my
know
students
that's
take it off.
hard in Japan.
But for me, yeah,
I just I don't worry about it
wearing
too much.
if you're
Like I
coughing
said,
that
I
much,
cough in my elbow when I
I
do
know
have to
that's
cough
hard
or
in
sneeze,
Japan.
and if
I
I'm
just
coughing too much, I just
I
take the
don't
day
worry
off.
about it too much.
Sorry, that's kind of
If
a
I'm
kind of a
coughing
lame
my
cop out for that
elbow when I do
question.
have
It's
to
a good
cough
question,
or
and
sneeze,
it is one that I have thought about a
if I'm
little bit,
coughing too much, I just take the day off. Sorry, that's
but
kind of a kind of a lame
yeah.
cop out for that question. It's a good question,
Yeah.
and
So,
it
any
is one
other
that I have
questions?
thought about
If
a little bit.
not, Robert, sorry, we're just about to end. You can watch the replay; it will
Yeah.
be
So
up.
any other
I think it
questions?
might take a little bit of
If
time
not, Robert, sorry,
to kind of
we're just
get
about
on
to
there,
end.
but it
You
will be up.
can watch the
If we
replay.
don't have
It
any
will
more
be up.
questions, I'm
I
gonna
think it
go
might take a little bit
ahead
of time
and
to
end it. It's gonna look a little bit weird because I do this at the
get
end
on there, but it will be up.
for people who
If
are
we don't have any
watching on
more
the replay. So
questions,
just don't
I'm gonna
mind
go
the weird
ahead
empty space. There
and
will
end it.
be
It's gonna look a little bit
some
weird because I do
videos
this at the end
if you do replay it.
for
Working
people
Eon,
who are
take a
watching on the
day.
replay. So just don't mind
Yeah,
the
yeah,
empty space. There will be
exactly.
some
So
videos
she's Patricia saying
we're getting Eon, take a day. Yeah,
working at Eon,
exactly. So she's
you can't take a day off,
Patricia
right? Yeah,
saying
you just can't. And I know. I've never worked at Eon, and I've heard about that
you can't take a day off, right?
working
Yeah,
culture, and it's just a
you just
shame.
can't. I know. I've never worked at Eon, and I've heard
My
about
advice to you is to
that
find another job.
that
I'm
working culture,
sorry,
and it's
but
just a
yeah,
shame.
it's just not worth it. I think the stress.
My advice to you is
Yeah,
to
thank you. Whoa, we got another subscriber.
I'm sorry, but
Haganimix, subscribe to the channel. Welcome, fellow Guyjin or Girljin. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it enough to subscribe. That is gonna be it for the show. If you did like it, please, give me a like and comment down below after the live stream ends, and please share it out if you guys liked it. Hopefully, we'll be back next week on Sunday, probably the same time. I might try to change the times a little bit. Might try to change something. But yeah, I'm gonna go to my end screen. Don't freak out too much. Okay, here we go. Okay, all right. That is it for the Japan live stream show, episode number 3. If you did like it, please leave a like, and if you really liked it, please share it. I'm gonna leave some videos right here. Shiking. The top one is probably gonna be a video that YouTube thinks that you will like, and the bottom video is gonna be a video that is my most recent upload. And down below, if you haven't subscribed already, there's a circle. Click that and hit the bell if you want all the notifications. If you don't want all of my notifications, don't click the bell. But that is it for the show. Thank you guys so much. See ya.